Greetings and salutations. Today is June 19th. It marks recognition of the 157th celebration of Juneteenth, which marks federal officials' enforcement of the Emancipation Proclamation in Galveston, Texas on June 19th, 1865. But to me, emancipation is a continuum. And for me, emancipation is still coming. Imagine with me June 19th, 2065. Perhaps we might find flood barriers erected in New York City, tropical cyclones wreaking havoc in the Caribbean and the Mediterranean, the Arctic ice in full retreat, global extinction rates are peaking, new viruses are wreaking havoc. We had an aging population. Indeed, the global population is past 9 billion. The ozone layer has fully recovered. Technology, well, we have AGI, and that has transformed life as we know it, from education to healthcare to voting to justice to, well, everything. Hail It Summit has returned. Hmm. Insurance crisis and 4K volumetric displays, in other words, VR, the metaverse, is the latest in home comfort and entertainment as robots have displaced humans in so many jobs that we have somewhat of a dystopian normal. In this future, race, however, is no longer a killing matter. Or is it? Will race matter in the year 2065, 200 years following the Emancipation Proclamation? Not too far away, and indeed many of us alive today will be around to see that future. So, what is the future of the American dream? Is emancipation still coming? Juneteenth is a celebration of freedom, yes, but it's also a moment to reflect on the horrendous injustice that has really stained America's history and marked our soul. But at the same time, as we commemorate the emancipation of those enslaved African Americans in Galveston some 157 years ago, we must also remember beyond that their generations of heroic civil rights leaders and advocates, and before that, many who marched, fought, protested, and just get up and stood up. Some took to the streets, some took a knee, but many bearing witness to the need to advance America's ideals of justice, equality, and opportunity for all. But as I said, emancipation is a continuum. We know that it's now a federal holiday driven by the leadership of Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, herself of Caribbean American heritage, a member of the Congressional Black Caucus, and it took a bipartisan, bicameral action to ensure the celebration of Juneteenth as a federal holiday, which we celebrate tomorrow. But we know that we are still fighting racism today, and indeed fighting to ensure that we can root out the systemic racism and bigotry that still plagues this nation, indeed, nations around the world. So we continue to fight for justice in policing, in the courts. We continue to fight to ensure our sacred right to vote. We continue to fight to ensure our rights to clean air and clean water and a living wage and the human right to culture, our forms of worship, our education, equity and equality, and of course, economic opportunity. And we recognize again that emancipation is a continuum. And so, as we seek to forward this movement to right the painful wrongs in our history and move us closer to forging a more perfect union, we ask the question, what is the future of the American dream? Can we recall and remember that our redemption does not lie in the marketplace. It does not lie in the reconstruction of truth and the removal of history from our classrooms, as painful as it is. The removal of history from our streets in the form of statues and namings, as painful as that is. Indeed, let those names, those statues, that history remain as symbols and signals of the way we must continue to move forward as a human family, as an American family. And so, as I take note of this rush to commercialize Juneteenth, I call on all friends and allies and well meaning people who understand and believe in the spirit of Juneteenth. I call on all those who recognize that Juneteenth must be a day to remember our ancestors who were bought and sold like chattel, like cattle. That Juneteenth is not a day to shop. Juneteenth is indeed a day to deny the marketplace. Juneteenth is a day when all people of goodwill should step away from the urge to become slaves to consumerism and definitely remove any urge to buy material that is relevant to the relevant to the marketplace marketing of Juneteenth as a day to shop, a day to celebrate by more rampant consumerism. Let us not go down this road. Let us remember that Juneteenth is a day for recognition of those ancestors. Juneteenth is a day to not have amnesia and therefore have more barbecues and picnics, which are indeed a part of that painful history. But Juneteenth is a day for reconciliation, a day for remembering, a day for listening and learning, a day for redemption and regeneration. In the words of the immortal prophet Bob Marley, who yesterday was made a star on the Black American Music Association Walk of Fame in Atlanta, let Juneteenth be a day when we work to emancipate ourselves from mental slavery, remembering that none but ourselves can free our minds. Yes, emancipation is still coming. What, might we ask, is the future of the American dream then? Will race still matter in 2065? It's up to us to decide that answer.